And as we just said, 2020 contender and former Congressman John Delaney joins us right now. You seem to like that response from Larry.
Well, I think he's saying the truth. I mean, I travel around this country, and I go to rural America quite a bit. And we have a crisis in health care in rural America. And there's not one rural hospital in this country that would stay open if we had Medicare for all based on the way it's described in that bill. Just they'd all close. They're all just on the edge. And Medicare rates, as the gentleman just said, are half of the rates of private insurance. And about a third of their patients are private insurance. So if you cut the reimbursement rates of a third of their patients by half, and they're running barely breaking even, they would close. And it's just something that no one talks about.
So hospitals would close, but what about all the people out there who are on private insurance and are okay with it? People in Park Ridge, New Jersey, and Villanova, Pennsylvania. How are they going to react when we say, when the government says, you know what, all government funded, no more private insurance?
We'll lose the election by 10 points because it'll never happen. Right? Because if you go to most Americans, health care is their number one issue. Like our seniors, the gentleman from Kaiser just talked about Medicare Advantage. That is private insurance. Half of our seniors are selecting it. Imagine how we're going to do in the 2020 election if we go out to the seniors in this country and say Medicare Advantage, which you've selected and you obviously like, and they're selecting it in huge numbers, it's now illegal. Then none of them are going to vote for the Democrats. Why would they? It's the most important thing in their life.
Okay, I want to try to say this in the most respectful way possible. How do you get this message across and get it to stick? I think about the Republican debates a few years ago and people who came prepared, who did their homework, who had very good reputations, who operated within the lines.
Wilderness now.
Which you did last night, are people like John Kasich and Jeb Bush. And President Trump decimated them.
Right.
How are you going to make yourself stand out? Well, people would say you didn't win or lose last night. Some could say it wasn't a night of impact for you. And
well, I think on health care it was. Right? I think on health care it was. I mean, this is the number one issue. Right? You travel all around this country. You know this, Stephanie. The things most Americans care about is what's going on with their health care. It's the number one issue. We are following someone on this issue. I mean, a bunch of the people on the stage with me, Senator Warren, she outsourced her health care plan to Senator Sanders, basically.
So why didn't you take that shot last night?
I did. I mean, I was talking about it. You know, this is the problem we have, right? They're all just following this person. He's not even a Democrat. I mean, when I first announced...
Why are you saying this person?
Senator Sanders.
Just say it.
Well, okay, Senator Sanders. I just said it. She outsourced her plan to Senator Sanders. And that's a huge problem. He's not even a Democrat. When I first announced I was running for president, everyone said you have to be on the Medicare for all bill.
That's a non-starter. I'm a Canadian, and I believe that Senator Sanders' plan is the best one to bring our costs down because it's what most other developed countries have.
It's not what most. No, it's not what most.
It is.
No, it's not. Germany, France, Denmark, Sweden. They have mixed models.
They are universal.
But I'm calling for universal health care too.
Right.
But to give every American health care is a basic right. But why do we also have to say you lose your options?
A UK hospital, a French hospital, and a Swiss hospital do not get different rates based on the way in which a person is insured. So your argument about rates is an interesting argument, and Larry suggests it's right. But the idea that you're pinning that on weirdness on Bernie Sanders, I'm just telling you, 54 other countries have it. Every other OECD country has some form of universality in which everybody's rates are paid at the same level. So that argument doesn't make sense.
I'm sorry, but you're wrong about that. They have universal health care, but they don't have a single-payer system.
I'm clear about that.
So,
in fact, I'm very clear
Medicare for all is a single-payer system.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
a single-payer
system. It's an
Medicare for all is not an insurance system.
It is an insurance system. Medicare is an insurance payment. It's a payment that reimburses something that's charged. That's not how the single-payer system works. That's not how the UK works. That's not how the Canadian system works. That's the confusion.
Medicare for all is a single-payer
insurance
bill.
program.
I know what Medicare is.
Yeah.
Do you know what Medicare Advantage is?
Yes.
What is Medicare Advantage?
Program that is over and above the basic costs of Medicare that most people get because Medicare doesn't pay the full cost.
It's actually not more expensive than Medicare. You get it for the same price of Medicare. Right, and they give you better benefits. No, this is important. Medicare Advantage, if you and I were turning 65, we could choose Medicare Advantage. It doesn't cost us anything else. We get more benefits under Medicare Advantage. We have lower copays.
It's a higher cost program.
No, it's not.
It's not higher cost to you, but the cost of the program is higher.
It's not. The government pays Medicare Advantage providers the same rates they pay Medicare.
So who pays the extra cost? If you're getting more out of Medicare Advantage than you are out of Medicare,
they run it more efficiently.
Because?
Because they have networks and they manage the care.
Right.
So if you were to choose,
what a larger system, a universal system does.
But Medicare doesn't do that right now.
Right. And so that's why Bernie Sanders is calling for Medicare for all, so that everything's networked. I'm not saying
But Ollie, what you just said about Medicare Advantage is just not true. Right? Medicare Advantage is an option that our seniors get.
John,
they don't pay anything more for it.
I understand, John, but whether the senior pays for it, the insurance system pays for it, the government pays for it, your private insurance pays for it, there are higher costs and lower costs, right? So when I say something costs more and you say it doesn't cost the user more, it costs the system more. So the United States pays more than double what all industrialized countries pay for health care.
Right.
That's a cost that might be borne by you, it might be borne by your insurance company.
But there's a reason for it.
Right?
If you need a specialist, if you need a specialist in the UK, right, it's not emergency care. You got to wait about 9 months.
That's just not true.
It is too true.
That's
I just had a friend of mine who had a hip replacement in the UK. They had to wait 9 months.
Represents everybody.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
I think you got to have your facts right. Medicare for
listen,
all.
My facts are 100% right. The gentleman from Kaiser just confirmed it.
So
Medicare doesn't pay the cost of health care. That's a fact. Private insurance pays twice what Medicare does for hospitals. If every hospital were reimbursed at the Medicare rate, they would close. So what's your answer to that?
But
what's your answer to that?
My argument is
you're basically arguing that hospitals should close.
I'm not.
I mean, this is economics. You're an economist. You've got to understand the economics.
For me, that's fine. I'm not making that argument at all.
And what's your argument to the 150 million Americans who are going to lose their health care?
Why would you lose your health care under Medicare for All program? By definition,
because it makes it illegal.
I'm not going to get a word.
Here's an example. What if this new Medicare for All program doesn't reimburse
mental... all part means everybody gets it. There are 11 basic health benefits, the guaranteed health benefits that were there under Obamacare. I'm not arguing it's a better deal. I'm just telling you your argument that people are losing health care under it is incorrect.
It is correct.
It's just not correct. The for all part means for all.
Okay,
but it's not the same. But it's your choice. How do you know the Medicare for all benefits are going to be the same? Again, my dad, the union electrician, he loved his health care that he got through the IBW. If my dad were alive today and I were to say to him, Dad, you got to get off that IBW, and trust me, we're going to have this great new government plan, he'd be like, let me see it first.
I hear you why people would be frustrated. I'm just saying it is coverage for all people. It may not be at the level that you're used to when your insurance company pays twice as much as Medicare. I think that's understandable.
Okay,
right?
so what are the people who then have?
But they're not losing their health care.
I never said they lost their health care.
But Ali, the point is they would be taking a leap, a risk.
Absolutely.
And do you believe that millions of Americans who currently have health care want to take that risk?
Problem. I agree that would be difficult for them, but I think...
Do you agree that hospitals closing is a problem? Did you see the Washington Post 2 weeks ago? They had a story about what's going on in rural healthcare. That people, these portable clinics come in.
We covered that story.
People go, right. That's what's happening in rural America right now.
That's not because Medicare for all is there. That's because they don't have health care.
No, let me tell you. Yeah, I agree with that. But there's another problem. We're aging as a society. Yeah. So a hospital's patient mix is changing. It used to have more commercial insurance payments at higher rates. Now they're getting more Medicare patients at lower rates. Yep. That's causing a lot of hospitals in rural America to close.
Yeah,
and this will accelerate
on
that
a lot
trend.
Of these issues. I just wanted to be clear on Medicare for all means Medicare for all people.
I never said that it didn't give everyone health care coverage. That's what my plan is.
My mistake. I thought that's what you said, but that's
no.
Good.
I said it.
We are agreed.
Got it.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Before we go, John, your last point of the night is that you want to make America work again.
That's right.
You didn't get that point in until the very last moment of the night. Are you frustrated with how the night went? Do you feel
I would have loved more time, right? I don't think the way the time was allocated was at all fair. I would have loved more time because I think there's a lot of things.
Why didn't you take it? Bill de Blasio did.
Well, I took as much as it. They said I tried to interrupt 8 times, which was the most of the evening. So, I'm from Jersey, so I fought my way in as much as I could. You get the most tenacious award. That's what someone just gave me. The person who interrupted the most was me.
There you go. Well,
thanks.
John, thank you so much for joining us. Congressman John Delaney from the state of Maryland. But you know what? You just gave a shout out to Jersey.